That was really great. All right, so we're doing Yud Gimel, right? So we have the pasuk Lechu lesivlotechem where Paro tells Moshe, go back home. Right? And what does Rashi explain? Rashi says, go limlachtechem sheyesh lachem laso bebatechem. Go to the work that you have to do in the house, right? Because why? Because the she'ebud the Mitzrayim was not affected by Levi. The Shevet Levi did not have to do any type of she'ebud, did not have any type of slavery, right? But Mefarshim explained, Dad Zekinim specifically, say that the reason that they didn't work was because from Hashem. Why? Because in the future they're going to be the ones to work in the Beit HaMikdash, and therefore it's not appropriate for them to be working for any other king other than King of Kings, right? But the question of Zera Shimshon is, what does the pasuk say? Ki ger yeh zaracha be'eretz ulahem va'avadum ve'inu otam. That your zera, your offspring, your children have become a ger and a land not theirs, and they're going to be subjugated. So how does that? What do you mean? Even Shevet Levi is included in zarecha. How is it possible that they were not included in this gezerah? If what Hashem said specifically was the gezerah. So if you look at we analyzed the pasuk. It should have said. Right now, the pasuk says "ged." The pasuk used the word "ged" in the beginning of the pasuk. It really should say it at the end of the pasuk. If it would have said "ki ged yezarecha," which means everybody, be'eretz lo lahem. Good. Ged va'avadum ve'inu otam. That would make sense to say that even Levi has to do it. But now that the pasuk, right, because it's including everybody. But now you separate. You put the word "ged," not convert. How does it translate the word "ged"?
Sojourners, but
yeah, English. Sojourners. Give me English. Give me English.
That's what he says. But
let's say strangers. I like it. Strangers. Right. So now, now the fact that it says that your zera is going to be a stranger in a land that's not theirs, and he writes va'avadum, right, and then he talks about the subjugation at the end of the pasuk. We make a separation between Shevet Levi and the rest of Bnei Israel to show that what. We explain that everyone's going to be the ged, everyone's going to be under the category, but the avadum ve'inuotam, the ones that's going to subjugate, is only going to be the ones that are worthy of getting subjugated. It does not mean that everybody is going to be included. And we talked about in other derashot, and the Midrashim also brings that not all the Shevatim were slaves. Some say only 3 Shevatim, 4 Shevatim. Some of them were higher. There's all different situations regarding regarding slavery. But over here we know for the most accepted one is Levi did not. Why? Because we're showing that Levi was not part of the subjugation, but was part of the gerut altogether of being a stranger in a land that's not theirs. Yeah. And then we bring another way to look at it. We bring a midrash that says Vayakomer Hadash, that when Yosef, the midrash says that when Yosef died, when Yosef died, everybody stopped doing Brit Milah, because they said they want to be like the Mitzrayim. Niyeh k'Mitzrayim. Ve'kevan she'asu chen, and once they did that, what happened? HaKadosh Baruch Hu swapped the love that the Mitzrayim had, and they turned it into sin'ah. Right? Like we said the other day, Pasuk in Tehillim, Hafach libam lisno amo, that he swapped out, he flipped their hearts, instead of the love, he put the hatred. Even this is hard, because the Midrash is basically saying, if we didn't let go of Brit Milah, that means we wouldn't have She'ebud, and that can't be, because Brit Betarim says we're going to be slaves. So how can it be? So we answer by what? We say, you have to say that the Gezerah of Brit Betarim, that we're going to be Be'eretz Lolahem, that was for everybody. That was the original thing. That we're going to be in exile, not going to be in Israel, right? And that's going to fulfill the words Ki ger yeh zaracha. That your zera is going to be a stranger in a land that's not his. Ve'ahar kach zera Shimshon says, im lo yizku, if they're not going to be zocher, yitosef alehem ha'she'ebud, then the she'ebud is going to come about. Meaning, the bottom line is the gerut was supposed to happen, no problem. But if now you want to act like you want to be like the Mitzrayim and you're going to cause insult to injury and you're going to start doing things that you're not supposed to, then there's an extra layer of this gezerah of Brit Betarim that you're going to have to deal with, which is slavery.
But again, just to be clear, if the whole Bnei Israel got the Brit Milah, wouldn't that still? So then the Berita Ben Abitarim, which said that they would be slaves, would be annulled? Would that be thrown out?
Yes, no, that's the thing. That's why the pasuk separates. Ger yezaracha beretz olahem means that the initial ger. If you're not worthy, like Bnei said, we're not because we let go of our brit milah altogether. Then comes the she'ebud. But Levi, who did not let go of the brit milah, because we know that Leviim, we learned in Zot Beracha.
Right, I got you. But Bnei Yisrael as a whole, the non-Leviim tribes, if they got the Brit Milah, would they be slaves?
No.
Okay, that's
no,
a big thing. Okay.
That's exactly what he's saying. That's the Hidush. He's saying, no, they would not have become slaves.
That's a big,
of course it's big. You're talking slavery. Hello, you're talking slavery. Yeah, it's big. But by the way, Brit Milah, you should know, is huge. David HaMelech, we have two edim. We have two witnesses with us at all times. We put tefillin on in the morning, and we have a Brit Milah. That's two. On Shabbat,
that's another Zera that we did with the three witnesses.
With three witnesses, right? If you take away, right, that was Hanukkah, right? That's why you only have one Eid. So on Shabbat, you already have an Eid. You have a witness. So and you have your Brit Milah. Brit Milah is with you all the time. David HaMelech himself, when he went to go to the Bet Mirhatz, he felt like he had to remove his tefillin to go into the bathhouse, and he felt, oh my gosh, I only have one sign. I have nothing on me. And he goes, he remembers his Brit Milah and his beauty. Now I understand I have to. Okay, so the Brit Milah is very, very big. A person that covers his Brit Milah acts like he doesn't have it, but Minan doesn't have a piece of Olam Haba. This is who you are. Brit Milah is very, very, very important. Very important. So now the Gezerah really was so Zera Shimshon to say that the Gezerah would only be if you actually put if of the Gerut, right? Of just being, the Galut, being an Eretz L'Lahem. Now that you're talking otherwise, and now you're talking that if we're not going to be Zocher, we're going to have even more than that, the She'ebud. And now the Shevet Levi, who didn't relinquish their Brit Milah, it makes sense that they should not be involved in Gelut, in the She'ebud, the slavery at all. Right? And then we finish by saying that you can also understand the Pasuk, or the beginning of the Pasuk is there's a lot of extra words. The pasuk should have just said ki ger ye zaracha. By saying the word ger, I don't need the extra three words be'eretz lo lahem. Right? It's extra. It should have just said ki ger ye zaracha. Why does the pasuk say ki ger ye zaracha be'eretz lo lahem? Be'eretz lo lahem is the exact definition of a ger. So what do we need it? We need it to show you, to explain that it was gezerat hamakom. HaKadosh Baruch Hu did this exactly. Which means what? How are you going to be mitkayim be'eretz lo lahem in a place that's not yours? When you make it apparent, or when you make it hard for people to see that you're separated. Right. You remember nihiyeh kemitzriim, right? Horrible. When we said we're going to be like the Mitzriim, we took away our Brit Milah. Which, by the way, even this week's today's what's it called? The Shnai Mikra. The Sipporah, the daughters that even by Mitzrayim, when he I'm sorry, this week's Shalai Mikra v'Hatargum, Moshe saves the people. What does he say? What did the girls tell Yitro, their father? Ish Mitzri, a Mitzri saved us. Why? Because he was all dressed in Mitzri clothes, right? If you're not going to act like a Jew and make it easy to be noticeable, then Hashem's going to add Be'eretz lo lahem, which is what? Which is the she'ebud. So if you're going to make it hard, that's another way to look. It's another hint. It's a hint because the pasuk should have just said ki ger ye zaracha. Now that it says Be'eretz lo lahem, what are you telling me? You're telling me that if you're going to be a gid, you're going to be a stranger in a land that's not yours. That's known by the word gid. But if you're going to make it hard, then we're going to add something extra, which is the she'ebud, which is hinted Be'eretz lo lahem, a land that's not yours. Right? So to show you how important it is to be, true to who you are, because that's very important. And we could say that the reason that we're bringing this Hidush is not soter what the Mefarshim said regarding the Mikdash. Why the Leviim are not slaves? Because they're going to be serving in the Beit HaMikdash. So you could say that the zechut that they had, that they should serve in the Mikdash, was because they didn't do the Brit Milah, which caused the Mitzrayim not to hate them, right? And which caused, because they didn't hate them, just to fulfill the Gerut. Right, like we said before, the whole purpose, the whole reason why the Sinai came was because we took away the Brit Milah when Yosef HaSadiq died. So you see that it's not being so it's showing that we're not contradicting the first thing. That specifically the zechut that they had to serve in the Mikdash was because they did not negate the Brit Milah, which caused the Mitzrayim not to hate them, which caused them not to make them slaves because there was no need for it, because it was always known that they're separated. And we know that the whole reason of the hate that came from the Mitzrayim onto Bnei Yisrael was specifically because they got rid of the Brit Milah after Yosef died. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen ve'amen.